Hey everybody, it's time for my video. It's time for my late, out of date Disney Channel 2000 Disney Channel 2020's new episode review and react webcam review and reaction. Depending on the quality of the episode intro. Depending on the quality of the episode, it will be either on camera. If it's a really good one, it will be on camera. If it's, my opinion, weak or terrible, it will be off quote unquote camera. This is for 2020's Disney Channel shows. The first is Secrets of Sulphur Springs, which premiered in 2021 and it's about to start its third season. I would have done seasons 1 and 2, but I was mad with the cancellation of my favorite shows, and as such I didn't really get a chance to really get into this show, which is a darn shame because the show is pretty good. The second is this is the weakest of the 2021 shows, and that's The Villains of Valley View, which premiered last weekend. This is the weakest of the Disney Channel shows, in my opinion. Most of their stuff will be off camera because this is the weakest and worst of the Disney Channel shows, of the new 2020s Disney Channel shows, and I might even say probably one of the worst and weakest of Disney Channel period. Now, then you got the next one, Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion, the Lucha Libre wrestling crime fighting television series. This one is much better, and in my opinion is one of Disney Channel's best new shows. According to Comet, is so far this show and along with Villains of Valley View, they represent the lowest rated views. They represent the lowest rated premieres of any shows, and in my opinion Disney Channel kind of deserves it. I hope Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion doesn't get grouped with the substitute that is Villains of Valley View, but you cannot shove these shows down people. You cannot cancel the shows we want and then shove these down people's throats. And I think that's one of the reasons why their viewership is so low, despite being premiering around the right time, which is the summer, which is the quote unquote summer. Yeah, and as such, I haven't really got into much of these quote unquote shows, despite how good these shows was, particularly Secrets of Sulphur Springs and the other show, because Disney Channel quote unquote shoved Disney Channel canceled the ones I wanted, Sitting to the Max, Coop and Cammy Astorworld, Gavin Renity and Siddles, and just roll with it in favor of these quote unquote shows. So as such, myself and I guess a lot of people didn't really watch or bother watching. They were invested in another cast. They were invested in the previous 4 shows I mentioned. They were invested in those characters and in those shows, and now you immediately try to you cancel those and try to shove a new generation down our throat, and then just ain't happening. Well, this is the intro. I'm only gonna have one quote unquote song. So with that being said, you don't hear the rest of the music. No. So get ready right now. Let's get it started.
This time
everyone, it's time for the first part of my review of episodes 13 through 16 of Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion post-reaction, and webcam review. This is something I've been meaning to do for a long time, actually when each episode aired. But I kept putting it off and on, and I decided to do my post-reaction and post-review of each episode after it already aired. It's been a week since all of these episodes have premiered and quote-unquote aired, and each one was exciting. This first part is the first one, High Anxiety, which was a phenomenal episode. That will play in the background. So I'll get to the plot and everything. Let me start the video and get to the plot and everything. And no matter what, no one can know who you are. This episode right here was a great episode. This episode was different from the other ones as it was more psychological than it was action. There really wasn't much action in this episode, but it was psychological, and in my opinion, it was way better than the previous ones, 11 and 12. And I love the moral of this episode. This episode dealt with secrets and the dangers of keeping things bottled up for a long time, and how they can fester and just make you a terrible person. This is a lesson I have to continuously learn in my daily life now. Well, anyway, this episode right here was phenomenal, man. So right here was phenomenal. It dealt with Violet Rodriguez struggling to keep multiple secrets. Her secret from Tiago and her family that she's ultraviolet, and that Cruz is Black Scorpion. And the third secret she learned in the previous episode, that Catalina, whatever her name is Cascada, which she learned when Catalina had the same cut as Cascada in the previous episodes. This episode right here, and throughout she kept struggling with secrets, and she kept having various nightmares. With one with Catalina being not only revealed as Cascada, but being busted and arrested by Black Scorpion and the police. Then Cascada later getting revenge. For Ultraviolet Rodriguez ruining her marriage by ruining her potential marriage to Cruz by revealing everything. And the Luis Leon, he returns in this episode as one of the main antagonists. Only it's a dream sequence where he is torturing Violet, quote unquote, Rodriguez, but then Violet Rodriguez remembers this her dream. She transforms into Black Scorpion and performs his signature energy punch, the Scorpion Sting, and defeats Luis Leon and escapes the dream. And she figures out which secret she has to quote unquote reveal, and that is the one about Cascada. She has to reveal to Cruz that Catalina is quote unquote Cascada, which Violet Rodriguez does. Cruz appears to be disappointed. He's disappointed, but he's happy Violet Rodriguez told him this secret, because Catalina.
Everyone keeps secrets. They don't know.
Catalina.
Don't give me that look.
Because Catalina is Catalina's Cascada, and Cascada, and but is excited, she told him. And at the end of the episode, Cascada comes to greet him. Catalina comes to quote unquote greet them. So yeah, great episode. The next one, Luis Leon, was even better. All right, get ready. Hey everybody, it's time for my review of the last 3 episodes of Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion. That's Luis Leon Won't Go Home, which will play in the background, and of course the last two, Kate Knight and Ultraviolet versus Black Scorpion. This is also a rant when I get to those two. Those 2 episodes haven't been released online. Those last 2 haven't been released online yet. So I will review all 3 episodes in this one video where Luis Leon will play in the background. All 3 episodes were great, with each one being better than the quote-unquote last. The only problem I have is the climax, is the cliffhanger at the end of episode 16, which I'm about to get to. So, let's get to it.
It's gonna be epic. A full day of fishing my good friend volleyball. Best anime of all time.
The first episode, Luis Leon returns in this episode. In this episode, he comes to hang out at Ultraviolet Rodriguez at Violet Rodriguez's quote-unquote house, and he bonds and gets along well with their family. Maya also comes over to watch a special anime, which Luis Leon spoils. Throughout the time there, Violet Rodriguez thinks Luis Leon is trying to unmask Ultraviolet, and prove that Violet Rodriguez is Ultraviolet. But it turns out Luis Leon just wanted to bond, just wanted to see what it's like to be around a family, as he's antisocial and is distant from his family. I think that was the plot. That was the quote-unquote plot. However, at the end, when Cruz comes over, it turns out Luis Leon, he was there to bond with the family, but he was once again there to track Ultraviolet's moves, and he came nearly close to revealing Ultraviolet's identity by capturing a picture of her at Cruz's gym, which leads to Tiago becoming suspicious. Yeah, in the subplot, Black Scorpion, Cruz, as Black Scorpion encounters Cascada, encounters quote-unquote Cascada for the first time, after learning that Cascada is Catalina. When Black Scorpion tries to stop some kind of carjacker thief, the guy is trying to steal a special part of a car that he needs for a job to feed his family, something like that. Black Scorpion tries to stop him, but Cascada, no understanding that he's not committing the crime to be evil, but committing the crime because he needs to support someone. Cascada comes and gives him the money he needs and reminds him that he's not alone, and that there's someone out there cares for him, and Cascada lets him go. Meanwhile, at the end of that same episode, Cascada is furious and got into it with Violet Rodriguez's mother, when Violet Rodriguez's mother fired a lunch cashier for stealing lunch money from students, because stealing is wrong, but she can't live off of a school salary, a teacher's staff salary, a school staff salary. So Black Scorpion. Cruz, however, goes against Cascada, saying that yes, what Cascada saying is true, but stealing is still wrong, and morals and ethics come first. Yes, it is true. You can't keep you're struggling, but you don't want to harm someone else who worked hard for what he or she has, Work hard to satisfy the quote unquote satisfy you. This is where your morals. This is where your morals come into play. This is where your morals come into play, and this is here where they learn their own opposite sides of the fence, and they have different opinions. Then Black Scorpion, and then Cruz reveals they have more different opinions, and the two break up, and the two quote unquote break up, which is the plot of the next episode I'm about to talk about. To cope with his breakup with Catalina, Cruz as Black Scorpion comes up with a cape. Like Inda from Incredible said, no capes. Really, that's not just a joke. That's true. No capes. They seriously get in. They seriously get in the way. If you get jumped by people, they can just grab your cape. And it can get entangled in various places. So yeah, no capes. No capes. This is actually true with a real life superhero too. So yes, no capes. No capes. No capes, and the cape. So yeah, he tries to come up with a cape, but Violet Rodriguez recognizes that it's cool, and at first tries to say nothing about it, but then when it gets in the way of them fighting crime, she keeps throughout the episode trying to get Cruz to ditch and lose the cape, to the point where they play tug of war with the cape, and Violet accidentally tears it, and angry and heartbroken Cruz storm off. Meanwhile, Violet Rodriguez sees what the cape means to Cruz. Cruz not only wears it to cope with his breakup with Catalina, but to also remember his happy days as an actual luchador professional wrestler, in contrast to the brooding Black Scorpion hero he is now. Yeah.
Which is why it's so confusing.
What's so confusing?
There you go. Hey, wow. I didn't know you were stopping by.
Well, I thought it would be nice.
Yeah, so Cruz does that. What does Cruz do next?
The surprise is...
What does Cruz do next?
Yeah. Sorry. Work stressing me out.
What does Cruz do next? Oh yeah. Cruz fights Violet Rodriguez recognizes what the cape means to Cruz, has a new one made for him, has the same one stitched back up, and Violet Rodriguez adopts the cape of her own, and together, my favorite part of the episode, they go into battle and beat the living daylights out of the two quote unquote villains. My favorite part of the episode. Then you got the big season, and unfortunately the series finale, Ultraviolet versus Black Scorpion, the final episode. What a phenomenal season finale. They went out with a bang. This was an awesome episode. In this episode, the episode starts off with Black Scorpion seemingly patrolling an area, but instead he knocks out the power plant area, but instead he knocks out the worker there and steals something, and the guy alerts the police that you'll never believe who just showed up here and stole something. It was Black Scorpion. Violet Rodriguez learns of this and wonders if Black Scorpion has really become a bad guy and started committing crimes. However, when she confronts Cruz de la Vega, About it, Cruz has a headache and doesn't remember anything. So Violet and Black Scorpion go out patrolling together to find out what's up. Black Scorpion, they get separated, and Violet Rodriguez eventually finds Black Scorpion hypnotized by the main antagonist of this episode, Hypnotico, who's using his mask. He's revealed to be one of the 6 maskers, and he uses his mask. His power is hypnosis, but he can only control one person at a time. So he has Black Scorpion commit various crimes so he can get parts for a machine that will allow him to control multiple people at multiple times. So Black Scorpion becomes this guy's quote unquote enforcer. So Maya teams up with Duplico. Maya teams up with Duplico and Violet to quote unquote try to get Cruz, Black Scorpion, to snap out of it in fear they may lose Black Scorpion together. In one of the best episodes ever, besides episodes 10 and episodes 3 and 4, this had the most action. This had the most action of any episode of Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion. In the final episode, Black Scorpion fights Violet Rodriguez. Right before Black Scorpion can kill Violet Rodriguez with the Scorpion Sting, Cascada comes in and saves the day. She fights Black Scorpion. She puts him a valiant fight, but she falls. Then Duplico, who can transform into multiple, he fights Black Scorpion. He puts up a valiant fight, but he falls to Black Scorpion too. Leading to Violet, in order to finally get through the Scorpion, realizing that Fist won't work, and then they can't beat him in an actual fight. She takes off her mask, revealing herself as Violet Rodriguez, which Cascada learns here that Violet Rodriguez is Ultraviolet, and she also learns that Cruz is Black Scorpion. But this snaps Black Scorpion out of him, and Black Scorpion regains his secret and goes up and beats the living daylights and fries the brain of Hypnotico, saving the day. And the four reconcile again and go out to eat. With the two deciding they gotta now clear Black Scorpion's name. However, everything is all fine and good until the very end, and this is the part I hated the most. At the end, Tiago finds Ultraviolet's mask and finally figures out and suspects that Violet Rodriguez, the reason she's been lying is that she's been Ultraviolet. What I'm angry about is this was the final episode. If they were going to end it after one season, they should have ordered at least 18 or 20 episodes so they could resolve those two plots. The first plot was Black Scorpion clearing his name. The second plot was Tiago learning that his sister is Ultraviolet and also coming to terms and accepting that his sister is a superhero now. But instead, we'll never know, because after this, just yesterday, November 18th, they announced this show was finally canceled. This show was canceled just after one season for bogus reasons. Low viewership, which is bogus because all their shows have low viewership. If you were going by low viewership, your shows are in the 0 point digits. You should cancel all of your shows except for the Zombies franchise. Then the other reason, this was the biggest one. This, unlike the other three shows, Raven's Home, Villains of Valley View, and Bunked, this show is expensive to produce. This show is feel like a movie. The others are crappy sitcoms, are quote unquote crappy low budget sitcoms. It's easy to film and constantly keep renewing that. Also, Bunked and Raven's Home, they're favored because they're sequels to popular established shows. Bunked is a sequel to 2011 series Jesse. In my opinion, one of the worst shows of all time. The newer Bunked season 4 is awesome. Season 4 through 6 is awesome. But Jesse 2011 was terrible. And of course, Raven's Home is a sequel to the popular early to late 2000s classic That's So Raven. This has been my review and rant and post-reaction of episodes 13 through 16 of Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion. The other post-reaction reviews, they will be in the link in the description box below and will be uploaded with this one. For those of you, you don't want to hear the rest of the music, turn the video off right now. And the links to watch these, once again, will be in the description box below. However, if you own Disney Plus, you can watch them all anytime you want.